Welcome back to the Jennifer Quapis podcast, where we empower women to be the best, boldest versions of themselves. Today, we're diving into the powerful and important topic of personal safety. In a world where being prepared can make all the difference, it's vital to understand the role that responsible firearm ownership and training can play. I'm honored to be joined by Emily Wilson, the owner and women's instructor from Superior Shooting, an organization that's changing lives by teaching concealed pistol carry, responsible firearm use, and comprehensive safety techniques. If you've ever considered getting your concealed pistol license or just want to feel more comfortable and educated when it comes to personal protection, this conversation is for you. We'll also discuss real life statistics and how CPL holders have protected themselves and why concealed carry could quite literally save your life.
Thank you so much for having me. So I'm with Superior Shooting. My name is Emily Wilson. I'm super excited that I got to know you through my company earlier. So that was fun. And I got
Yes.
started in firearms when I was a kid, and my father was a hunter. And my parents thought it was very important that I learn about firearms to take the mystery out of things. So I was never afraid of them. They were never intimidating to me. I knew safety. I knew that I didn't need to touch them. There was no mystery. So then when I married my husband, he started hanging out with my dad and he got the bug. So he decided about 7 years ago that he was going to become a CPL instructor, and he went through the classes, did all the things.
Okay.
So when he did it, he said, there's an issue in this world that women don't feel safe going to classes with men. They feel intimidated. And my husband's a big guy, big teddy bear, but if you don't know him, you don't know. So he said, we really need more women in the industry. So I did the things and took the classes, and I was the only female in my class, but I scored 100% on all the tests, and I'm very, very proud of that. I
Atta girl,
I know,
yes.
right? Girl power. So I scored 100% on
Yes.
the written exam, on the shooting test, everything, and we had to do a test run for a CPL class. So they brought in clients, male and female, and told them, pick the instructor you want. And of course, all the women walked to me. And they're like, yep, see, that proves our point. We need more women in the industry. So I knew I had made the right choice. And since then, I've been teaching women's
Yes.
classes. I teach about 6 classes a year because I work it around my regular
Okay.
full-time job too, and my children and family, which is the best part because I can do that and make my own schedule. And it works around
Yeah.
my clients' needs
Yes.
too. So that's how I got
And
involved.
I can attest to that. I dragged my feet for a long time. I too grew up around guns and, like and enjoy going to the range and target shooting. And it was a conversation my husband and I had had, but it is intimidating as a woman
Yeah.
to go sit in a classroom, probably primarily surrounded by men
Mhm.
who you might feel like, I don't know, are they going to belittle you or make you feel any certain sort of way? And as soon as I found out about your class and being in a class with all women, I was like, yes, absolutely. I'm on board. It was the defining moment that I was like, okay, I'm going forward and I'm going to do this. So
And I always feel like
it does
I'm
make a
kinda
big difference.
yeah, I'm squishy and unassuming. So I'm not scary at all. I'm just a mom, a middle-aged mom. I just have a little different knowledge.
Yeah, I just think it's nice that you can see yourself in somebody else when
Yeah.
you are learning something, especially as vulnerable as
Mhm.
handling a firearm, right? So,
Right. And to be
yeah.
clear, it is not man bashing at all. I have found that the men, the majority of the time, there's been a few instances that I've had things said to me and I haven't been treated the best. But the majority of the time, the men surround me like a kid sister. They come and help. They're more than happy to help. I do think that maybe my insecurities were misguided in the beginning, but I understand
Hmm.
them. So I want women to feel comfortable so I can
Yes.
bridge the gap between the two. And one of my favorite things is the range that we use regularly. Can I give them a shout out?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
We use Action Impact in East Point. That's where we go. And the guys there are amazing. They've never treated me less than. They've never treated my clients less than. They always are welcoming. If I call ahead and tell them that I have a client coming in that has experienced trauma of some sort and has fear,
Mm-hmm.
they are more than willing to work around, put us in a private area or schedule that so that we can have that space so that she can overcome that fear.
Awesome.
They are
Yeah.
amazing guys to work with. So I only use that range for that reason. And they're truly spectacular at that location.
Perfect.
So highly recommend. Shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Give them a shout out. That's important and I think that's great. And it's all about empowerment and just, making other people comfortable.
Yep.
So I love that your whole program encompasses that. It's
Yep.
fantastic. So talk to me a little bit about your training programs. We just said one of the biggest thing that sets it apart is that you do offer women only classes,
Right.
men only classes, which is
Yep.
fabulous. But is there anything else that you feel really sets apart Superior Shooting from other CPL courses?
Well, for one, my husband has his FFL. So that is the federal firearm license. So he is licensed to sell firearms. So if our clients come in and they don't have a firearm and they try some of ours and find something they really, really love, we can help them get that. So they don't have to go to a gun
Okay.
shop and pay more. We kind of cut out the middleman a little bit and offer discounts to our clients. So that's one bonus. Second, yes, I
Yeah.
do women's only classes. My husband does men's only classes. We do couples classes. If you and a group of friends want to have a girls' night and take a class, we can do that. If whatever your needs are, we will tailor a class for you. So I've recently had some parents come to me with high schoolers that said, hey, we really want our kids to understand and not be afraid. Can you teach my kids? So we do a firearm handgun 101 class for the students. They can come in, just learn. We bring in about a number of firearms. We call it the petting zoo.
Okay.
So I'll have a lot of them and they can come in and play with the petting zoo and check the different guns. We do this for every one of our classes. So you can see different
Okay.
calibers, different sights, grips, brands, everything. And you can look at them, see how they work. We're not in the range. It's a classroom setting. So the
Okay.
kids can come in and take the mystery out of it. Parents are required to be with them. If they're under
Okay.
21, we want
Yeah.
the parents there too. So we'll do a group class for that. I'm excited. I have a mom with her 3 daughters that are going to do a class. Her girls are getting ready to go to
Awesome.
college and live on their own. And she's like, I just need to make sure that they're aware of stuff. And I'm super excited about it. So
Yeah.
we tailor make whatever you need. If you just say, I have no idea what I'm doing, we'll start you at basic. If you say, I've shot a gun a few times, I'll take you to the range. We'll work on your stance. We'll work on your grip. We'll work on your accuracy. We'll make it you a better shooter. So it's whatever your needs are. We will tailor that class. It's not a one size fits all. It's everything is specifically done for our clients and their needs.
Yes, that is awesome. I'm so happy for listeners to hear that. So, that takes me right into the next segue of what my next question was with how does somebody get started if and where do they get started if they're thinking about getting a CPL or just getting familiar with a firearm because knowledge is power. So I think that's fantastic that this mom is introducing her girls and doing it together because you don't know what you don't know and it is intimidating and scary if you don't know how to handle it and you don't know anything about guns. If you didn't grow up with them in your
Right.
home or shooting them, I think it's important for everybody and anybody to learn and understand them.
Right.
So that's awesome that you offer that range. So, for anybody listening that has interest or is unfamiliar, please reach out to Emily. That's a great resource for people to a good place to start. You can
Yep.
start from the ground up, or if you have a little bit of knowledge and you just want to get better at aim, or like you
Right.
said, trying out different firearms. Maybe one you shot was a little too intimidating and had a little too much kickback. You can take
Right.
that feedback, they can take that feedback to you and
Yeah.
you can give them better suggestions.
We do find that a lot of times, well, I want to circle back to that point that I was about to make. I want to answer your question first. When you said
Okay.
how to get
Yeah.
to the CPL. So first, I would recommend taking a basic class if you're unfamiliar and just learn a
Okay.
firearm and go to the range.
Mhm.
I love to go with new people who've never shot a gun ever. I say all the time to women who have fear, give me 1 hour, just 1 hour in the range so that we can build your confidence and you know that you can do it. It will
Yeah,
be a game changer. So
it
that
is.
brings
Yes.
me so much joy to see
Yeah, I got goosebumps when you said that. Give me an hour. I
me
mean,
an
that's
hour.
so powerful.
When you
Yep.
come in intimidated, I am going to cheer you on. I am your biggest cheerleader while we're there. We're going to break down everything at your pace. So we have an hour in the range. If you want to shoot one, put it down, take a step, breathe, walk around a second, come back. It's your hour. But when you
Mhm.
leave, it's really, and I think you can attest to this, you've been in the range with me. After you shoot the first time, you kind of feel a little better. You're like, I can do it. And then it goes
Yeah.
on from there. And before you know it, you shot an entire box and
Yep.
you're a gunslinger by the time it's over. It's a
Right.
lot of
You're
fun,
feeling unstoppable. Yeah.
right? By then you're playing I'm Every Woman in the background and you're walking out just owning it. And
I
I
love
love
it. I
seeing
think
that.
we did turn on some good jams when we left the range
Yeah.
after, if I
That's the
recall.
other thing. Full service. I will drive
Yeah.
you. We serve
You
lunch.
did.
We do the whole
Yep.
thing. So all you have to do is bring something to drink. We provide everything
Yep.
else for the day in our classes. I just really want it to be a like a niche market situation. Like we are a boutique situation. That's the word I was looking for. We are
I
a
love
boutique
that. Yes.
situation where you come in and we design it for you. We're like your
Yeah.
personal shoppers in the gun world. We will help you narrow down your needs and make sure that you leave confident and secure knowing what you're doing. And I get
Mhm.
excited. Oh, I'm getting excited. I told you I get loud when I get excited because it makes me happy to talk about something that I'm so passionate about.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
have just so many women that have reached out to me that say, I've never been in a range and I'm terrified. And I had one client that came in. We went as far as getting from the car into the range building. And for her,
Mhm.
that was the biggest step for her. She sat and watched me through the window. She could not go in and shoot it herself, which was fine. But for her,
Mhm.
that was her hour. She
That
felt
was her first
so
step.
empowered because she walked in and she could hear the booms. And that was like,
Mhm.
I did it. I made it this far. So next time, I'm going to take 3 more steps. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. One step at a time to overcome her fear. I cannot wait for the day that I get her in to the actual
Yeah.
booth, but for now,
Yeah.
every success is a success, and we still
For
celebrate
sure.
it, and we play some I'm Every Woman in the background for her too. So
Yes,
she is
absolutely.
overcoming fear for sure. But several of my
That's
clients have come
fantastic.
in with it's the trauma. I did not realize when I started this journey that I was going to be kind of a pseudo counselor sometimes.
Yeah.
The trauma that comes with it that you need to talk through and work through to get the courage to overcome and walk into a range. I've had clients who's it's terrible to talk about. One of them, she walked in as a family member was taking their own life and she witnessed it. So she
Okay.
now is a widow and lives alone and is scared in her 70s, but she had to
Mm.
overcome that. So to take her
Right.
and train her in it's like rethinking your brain and your understanding of that firearm. So we have worked through trauma on things like that. I had a client whose husband was murdered and in her front yard. So
Ugh.
she's like, I have all these visions in my head and I'm scared. So we had to
Yeah.
talk it through. Sometimes a
Wow.
CPO class that's an 8-hour class may take a couple of weeks where we do the class and then we revisit the range another day. Maybe they don't go with me
Okay.
that day. They work their way up to it. But again,
Yeah.
the great part about our sweet little boutique shooting here is that we come through and say, whatever your schedule is, we'll make it work. And we go back to the range a few days later when it's more quiet, when it's the morning, when they can control that, then
Mhm.
they have the power. So I try
Yeah.
very hard to arrange my schedule so that the client has the control to overcome their trauma and their fear because it's
Wow. Yeah.
very
I didn't
real.
even think about all of those scenarios that could come into play. So, yeah, quite
It's a lot.
literally, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a
lot.
lot. But I'm very
Wow.
thankful that I feel like God has created me to be a patient person. And I have been a substitute teacher now for 10 years, and there's a whole level of patience that comes with being a substitute teacher. And I have
Oh, I'm
learned
sure of it.
over this decade to use those teaching skills and gifts in this scenario. So I use that
Hmm.
patience that I have learned and honed in on over the years to work with the clients
Yeah.
and to serve them well. So far it's very exciting to me. I've connected online with clients afterwards. We've stayed in touch. I have gone back. There's been several who've reached out to me and they want to show off what they bought. So I'll go with them with
Yeah.
their new purchases and we'll go have a girls' day at the range. And it's just fun because now I've made connections in our community because of this that I never would have before.
Hmm.
So there's like a whole community around just firearm training and knowing that you can protect yourself. It's fun.
Yeah, I love all of that. Women in communities is everything. Women lifting
For
each
sure.
other up is just, there's nothing better. There is nothing
So
better.
my favorite story ever was in one of my classes. We had 3 women who were total strangers. And were you in that class? I don't think you were. I can't remember. I just remember there were
No,
3 women. How many were in your class?
it was just me and my best friend Amanda.
Okay. Okay, that's right. And I limit my classes to 5 people. That's the other thing
Okay,
about our class. We have a limit of 5 people.
that's
I don't want
nice.
more than 5. That way it is not as intimidating and scary. So,
Right. Yeah, no, it was very conversational. We were able to ask all of our questions and
mhm,
it was nice. So good to know that even we were lucky enough that it was just the two of us, but five is a great
yeah.
small group.
5 I can handle at the range and we can work and get through it pretty quickly, but you can
Hmm.
ask your questions, you can be comfortable. It's not really
Yeah.
scary. It's just very
Yeah.
personal, and I love that. So my husband and I decided a long time ago that we would limit our class sizes. So when we do
Yeah.
groups, if it's like a party where you have a bunch of people, we limit to 10. That way
Okay.
he and I can go together to the range to work with the group, but we just don't want it
Hmm.
to get out of control crazy. One of the things is when you do go to a range, they will put 50 people in a class. And that's fine. That's how they work. That's great for them. If you already know what you're doing, that's fine, but you're not going to get the personal instruction. So we really pride ourselves on giving you
Right.
that personal instruction. But my big girl power story was we had 3 women in the class. One of them, she's like, I'm absolutely not shooting. I'm not ready for this like I thought I was. And I kept telling her, give me an hour. Just give me an hour. She's like, I can't. I'm just going to stand here. I said, you know what? You made it in. And we're going to celebrate that. And the other girls were like, we're so proud of you. And they don't know each other, right? We're so proud of you. You made it so far today. You came in way more than you thought. And the other 2 girls went up there and they talked to her and they said, look, can you just shoot one time? You watched us, just shoot one time. You can do it just one time. And I said, I will even load the gun for you. Just shoot one time, see what happens. And if you're still scared after the one time, we're done for the day. We'll do
Hmm.
it another day. She's like, okay, I'm going to do the
Yeah.
one time. We had our group of cheerleaders. She did it the one time and she's
Oh,
like,
yes.
whoa, that was amazing. And she got her CPL
Yeah.
that day. And doggone it, that girl's a good shot too. Once she calmed down a little, so she didn't even need the hour.
Man,
She was having so
man,
much
that's
fun.
awesome.
So now it's her new
Yes.
hobby because just that one time, just do it.
Perfect
Yeah.
strangers that
Work
just all
together.
happen to be at the same place, same time, just rallied around. So, why do you think it's so important specifically for women to be educated about firearms and personal defense?
So, what I have learned is that well meaning, loving, generous men have bought firearms for their wives, girlfriends, daughters, because they want them to be protected. And
Hmm.
they come to take the class, and the gun is still in the box or it's still in the safe they got it in, and they've never learned how to use it. And they
Hmm.
say, I live alone, or I have an ex husband, or I have a situation where I have fear, and my dad got me this gun so I could protect myself. But they've never learned how to use it. So that gun is not
Hmm.
going to do a single thing for you if it's in a box and you don't know what to do with it. So
Right.
educating yourself on how to use it. And again, it's the women who come and say, I've had a domestic violence situation in my past. I have a protective order against an ex-husband. He tends to violate it.
Hmm.
I'm scared. I have children. What do I do? They need to be able to protect their family. So a lot of people say, well, just get some mace or get some pepper spray. Well, some states, they have laws about that where you can't carry those things. And then think about how close someone has to be for you to use it. So
Right.
that threat is going to be way closer to you if you use that.
Yep.
The chances of them hurting you is higher for you to use that. Plus
Sure.
the risk of it could
Yeah.
blow back on you. You could have it turned the wrong way in that heat of the moment situation. But if you know the
Mhm.
laws and you know how to use a firearm, you can protect yourself without them ever being within your bubble. And you can save your
Yes.
life or the life of your children and your family because you're educated and you've practiced and you know.
Amen. Yes. And I can say from personal experience, I thought about let's do a personal defense class. Let
Mhm.
me learn some personal defense moves, but I'm 4'11". The reality of the situation is if there's some 6'2" man
Yep.
that's coming at me, sure. Is there a move out there that could probably get me out of it if I were practicing it and good enough at it?
Mhm.
Possibly.
Right.
But I'll tell you, a firearm is going to level set that playing field real
True.
quick. Doesn't matter how big you are, who you are. If you
Yep.
have a firearm, it's an even fight.
Yep. Disparity of force
So
is very real.
definitely.
And I did the same thing. I took a
Yep.
Krav Maga class and I learned all about how to carry a flashlight, like a brighter flashlight, which is great when you cannot
Okay.
carry in a place
Hmm.
where you cannot carry a firearm, right? You get the highest voltage flashlight
Yep.
that you can carry on your person, and that can blind someone so you can run. So there are ways that you can protect yourself without carrying a firearm. But
Sure.
personally, I want guarantees to know that I'm
Yep.
safe. And I can blind
Yes.
you. I can throw my purse across the parking lot for you to go chase. I can scream. I can yell. My favorite thing to do, and this sounds absolutely crazy, I say in every class, if you're at a place where you cannot carry, so that is
Hmm.
movie theaters, hospitals, doctors' offices, schools, churches, a lot of the places that we go to regularly, you are not allowed to carry legally. This is sounding insane, and I'm going to own it. Gobble like a turkey.
I
If you
remember you
find
saying this.
somebody, do what?
Yes.
Do you remember
I
me
said, I
talking?
remember you saying that in class. Yes.
Yes, and I stand by it. People aren't going to mess with you if you're in a parking lot going. So
Right.
they're just going to walk away very carefully. So that's always going to be in my back pocket. I don't mind
Yeah.
acting like a loon if it's going to save my life.
Right.
So while I'm a little bit, it might come across a little disturbed, trust me, it's okay. I
Yeah.
think about when our kids get upset and they just noodle and they don't want to go somewhere and they just noodle onto the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Noodle if you have to. There is zero way
Right.
anybody's going to come and lift all of this goodness to get my purse.
It's just dead
Right.
weight. Yeah. I
Yes.
mean,
Like
great suggestion.
I'm gonna noodle it out, or I'm gonna, and then we're gonna call it a day. And they'll just leave me alone at some point. I'm gonna make it as
It's
hard as
a step
possible.
above because they always say, like, if someone is in proximity that's making you feel uncomfortable, make sure you make eye contact. Try to verbally, like, let them know that you see them. Hey, how are you?
All
But
the
you
time.
really take it a whole notch above.
I
Forget the hi,
kind of,
how are you?
it's
We're
an
just going to
odd
gobble like a
notch.
turkey.
It's a very odd notch, but I'll own it every time. But I'm also from the South where we say hi to everybody all the time. So I grew
Okay.
up
Yeah.
doing that. You're in the store, you're talking to the people about the eggs and the orange, whatever. I'm always
Hmm.
engaging with people. I love people. So one thing I've learned to take that a step above, my husband and I play a little game. I highly encourage this game. It's great if you're on a date
Okay.
night. It's a little strange, but it's great. We test each other. So we're in a restaurant and we'll say, okay, how many people are between us and the door? Well, I don't know. I was just thinking about ordering my nachos. Okay, but if
Right.
there is a threat that comes in the door of the restaurant, then how many people are
Yep.
between us and that exit? How many of them are
Hmm.
wearing hats? What color is the guy's shirt in the second booth? What if they're the threat? So are we going to be able to identify them if they're the threat? So a lot of times we'll just say, okay, hot shot, pop quiz, straight out of Top Gun, pop quiz, hot shot. And then we'll ask a silly question like that. But it really keeps us on our toes
Yeah.
to just be aware of our surroundings.
Situational awareness.
Always.
Yep.
Or how many children are in the side of the restaurant? We're constantly asking because if we are the ones that have a firearm on us legally to carry in a restaurant, then
Mm.
it might come down to us saving those people. And we need to
Right.
know what could be happening. So we want to be prepared for
Right.
that. And just being aware, big deal. Big deal. And you're always hearing about the ladies who were in a Target or a Meijer or a Walmart, and they're like, some guy was following me around, and there were two women circling, and they were around my car, and I had to have somebody walk me out. Well,
Yeah.
if you had a firearm that you were trained to use and you knew what you were doing, wouldn't you feel better knowing
Mhm.
that you're on your way to your car? So make eye contact with those people.
Absolutely.
Every time you walk down that aisle, hey, how you doing? Oh, didn't I just see you on the last aisle? That's crazy. Are we shopping for the same thing today? Nice hat. That's a nice blue hat you're wearing. That's conveying, I'm seeing what you're wearing and I'm committing it to memory. I can identify you if I need to. And you're not being
Oh,
rude.
I love that.
You're being
Yeah.
friendly. You're smiling,
Right.
but you're communicating that I'm watching you and I'm going to
Great
protect
tip.
myself and whoever is with me if necessary, because I can
Mhm.
identify you if necessary. And I don't want it to come to that, but I hope you have a great day. Enjoy shopping for
Yeah.
eggs. And if I see you on the next
Right.
aisle, I'm going to say hi again. So
Right.
it's okay to make people
Great tip.
uncomfortable. It
Yep.
is okay
Yep.
to make
Good
people
piece of
uncomfortable.
advice.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. And I love the whole making mention of something they're wearing by complimenting it, because that definitely is going to throw somebody off.
Right. Right.
That is suspicious, for good reason. So that's a good piece of advice. All right. So you talked about going places that you cannot take your firearm into. So what are your suggestions? So if I'm concealed carrying and I need to go into the school to pick up my kids, where do you put your firearm?
Okay, so legally, you cannot park on campus. If you have your firearm on you, you cannot step out of your car. So you can drop them off, or you can park like on a side street, have a safe in your car. So I have a lockbox under
Okay.
my seat. It latches and
Hmm.
bolts to the seat structure, and you have to have a key to undo it. You're going to have bolt cutters to get it out. So you put your firearm in there and then you walk on campus. So same thing,
Okay.
bank. You can't carry it in the bank. You can leave it in the
Right.
lockbox in the parking lot, do the drive-through. Doctor's offices, lockbox, because you can't do it. Any restaurant that sells more than 50% of alcohol sales, their entire sales is more than 50%, you can't carry in. So rule of thumb, if it says bar and grill, take it as that and leave it
Probably
in the
selling.
car.
Yep.
We tend to ask because we frequent the same places. You find where you like the enchiladas and that's where you go for the enchiladas. So we'll ask the
True.
owners,
Yep.
what's your average sales in alcohol? We want to know if we can carry here legally. And we let them know,
Yeah.
give them a business card and tell them this is what we do. And we want to make this a better, safer place. Like we're not a threat. And most of the time they're happy to have us and they have
I
no
believe that.
problems doing it at all, and they're happy to tell you how much. So we've already learned, but just
Okay.
by asking questions, what's your sales? And they're happy to
Right.
tell you. So
Okay.
we've narrowed it
Another
down, or
great
we'll
piece
go
of
places
advice.
that don't sell alcohol. So we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it and you can just
Right.
keep it on your person. Okay. So next question. What is your advice or rule of thumb with entering other people's homes with a CPL? Do you tell your family members or friends whose homes you're going into that you are carrying, or do you leave that private and
Mystery.
concealed?
Well, since it is their home, I feel it is respectful to talk to them first. And if they don't
Hmm.
mind, they don't mind. But if they would rather me leave it in the car, I will certainly do that out of respect for them. Now,
Okay.
I have two kids, and my son had a party here for his birthday, and the teenager, there's no alcohol or anything. None of the kids are going to
Hmm.
be in my room. All our firearms are in safes locked up. We're not going to have them
Yes.
out. We are all about teaching
Right.
people to be responsible gun owners. So we lead by
Hmm.
example, of course. And I had a mom call me, and her first question was, are there any firearms in your house? And I'm like, baby,
Yeah.
well, that's a yes.
An
So
arsenal. Yeah. But safely.
if the zombies come, we got you.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, yes, I find it interesting that you asked that question. I've actually never thought to ask the question because we have them in our home, but
Hmm.
maybe I should have been. And I told her, I said, I
Yeah.
so respect you for asking because it can be scary to ask that question, but to let you
Yeah.
know, not only do we have them, this is where they are, this is how we lock them up. This is our job. So it's interesting you ask. And if you'd like to take a class, I gotcha, you know. And
Right.
it opened up a conversation to where she's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. It was just a different understanding. So now her kid can come over anytime he wants to because she knows we're responsible owners and we're not going to have it out and the kids aren't playing and shooting in the backyard and they're not just laying on
Yeah.
a table somewhere.
I love that not only did you answer the question for her, but you put her mind at ease by letting her know how you lock up your firearms and where they're locked up. Cause I think that's important. It's on her mind enough that she's asking the question. It matters. So I think that's great for all the mamas or women listening to hear.
And really, you
It's
never know
not some
somebody's story. You never know what happened in her past that would cause her to ask that
true.
question because she wants to protect her
Yep.
son. And if he's coming to my
Yep.
house, I want to protect her son too. So
Absolutely.
our mama cubs, our
Yes.
bears with our cubs, we all work together, mutual
Right,
respect.
right. Yeah, no, I think that's important for both sides to hear, that it's
Mhm.
not a big secret and it's okay to discuss and that you took it a step further to put her mind at ease by taking that conversation further. That's
And
awesome.
we would have
I'm
definitely
going to keep that one in my back pocket.
I feel like our children's relationships are very important. So if she had
Mhm.
said, I just feel really uncomfortable with him being there, then that would
Mhm.
have been fine. We would have said, hey, can we go to the park? Can we do something else instead? Because
Yeah.
relationships to me are number one. That's irrelevant to
Sure.
the firearm thing.
Yes.
But just to be
Right.
respectful to others and their beliefs and their feelings towards things it's super important to our family. So I want my kids to understand to respect people and their beliefs too. And we can be as
Mhm.
accommodating as we can to include everyone.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Where we want to go next here, Emily? Do
Talk
you
about,
mind?
yeah, go ahead.
No,
Do I
if you
mind?
have something you wanna talk about, let's go.
I
What do you
really
got?
wanted to talk about the type of carry options because
Okay.
when we're looking as females, we may have curves in places
Mhm.
that would
Mhm.
cause a firearm to maybe stick out a little bit. And there's different ways of
Mhm. Yeah.
carrying. So
Yeah, let's talk about that.
one way that I have learned that is my absolute favorite way to carry is a belly band because I am a bit of a plus sized fluffy girl. And
Right there
you
with
can
you,
just
girl.
get that belly band. It goes right around. First of all, it keeps you snatched. So that doesn't hurt,
Okay.
right? And then
Double purpose.
my firearm
Huh.
goes right under my arm. So you never know
Okay.
it's there. It's super
Uh-huh.
comfortable. It breathes, it's stretchy, and it's secure all at the same time. I have discovered that
Okay.
instead of I was doing an out of the waistband carry, then I did in the waistband carry, and it kind of rubbed against my arm the wrong way, just for me because I'm 5'2", and the way it would sit. But if it's
Mhm.
under my arm, it just sort of blends and you don't notice. So I found that to be great.
Okay.
You can also do a thigh holster, ankle holster, shoulder holster. I mean, there's so many different things. Now there's leggings.
Yes.
Let's be real. Moms and leggings, right? So
I was just gonna say I love the belly band suggestion because I love to wear my leggings, and so I'm not gonna
absolutely.
holster something
Well,
with
now
leggings on, so the belly
they
band
have
is an awesome option.
leggings with the
I've
pocket
seen
for
I
that.
have not tried them.
I haven't yet either because I don't wear leggings to work and mostly I'm at work. So I just wear the
Yeah.
belly band when I'm out. But they
Uh-huh.
have special women's leggings for carry. And this is
Yep.
my favorite. I'm so excited about it. But I will say my biggest no-no, and this is going to step on some toes in the world, purse carry.
Mhm.
No, don't purse carry. I always ask the ladies
Yeah.
in the class, as you're sitting here with me right now, where is your purse? It's either in the chair
Right.
next to you, on the back of your chair, on the floor, whatever. It's not on your person. If you're in a
Right.
restaurant, you have that in your purse. Somebody can crawl up, get it around you somehow if you're not paying attention, and it's
Mhm.
not on your person. So it's not completely safe. So a lot of
Sure.
people say, well, what if I have one of those cross bodies and it's in the pocket? I highly suggest thinking about doing dry fire in your house. So we do that a completely empty firearm and you just practice around the
Okay.
house to do different things. Practice
Mhm.
getting it out. Count to 10. How long does it take you to unzip, get it out, and defend yourself? And compare that to if you had a belly band and you could just reach. Practice all the
Okay.
different ways from wherever you're carrying. Practice
Yeah.
it over and over in your house so that you're secure with the use of your firearm. That is so important because
Mm.
if you're in the middle
Yeah.
of the gas station to buy your Cheetos and somebody comes in and robs it, what are you going to do? First of all,
Right.
I'm hiding behind the Cheetos. I didn't leave my house with the intention of shooting anyone that day or going to jail that day. That was not my original
Right.
intention. And my biggest thing, and you've heard me say this before too, is that I do not carry a weapon. I carry a tool of last resort. Bad guys carry weapons.
Yes.
I am not a bad guy. This is
Right.
my last resort. When I cannot run, I cannot get away, I have no other choice, is my tool of last resort. So always
I'm glad that you brought that up.
it's a
Yeah.
mindset thing. It's how we think about
Yes.
it, because I want to be able to defend myself, my family, my children, but I do not
Right.
want to ever hurt anybody. I mean, I will pick up
Of
a
course.
spider and take it outside. I don't ever want to hurt a living thing. But when it
Yes.
comes down to my family or a threat, I
Mhm.
I'm gonna choose my family every time. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, good suggestions. And if you have a belly band that you absolutely love using, maybe I'll get that from you and include a link in the show notes or send it out in one of my newsletters so
I got it on
people can
Amazon.
check those out. Even
Really?
better. We love
Just
an
Amazon.
Amazon link and it'll be at your doorstep the next day,
For sure.
if not in 3 hours.
I know.
Isn't that crazy? I've
It,
literally ordered something and within hours it was here and I'm like,
I
it's a
know.
little crazy.
I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it.
It is. It
Because
is awesome. It's
then I
just a
don't have
crazy
to
world we live in.
go out. Let's be real. I don't have to put my bra on and go out, right? I can just
Yes,
deliver it to
absolutely.
me.
1000%.
I don't care if you air that or not. That's who
Yeah.
I am.
Hey, I am all for airing that, and I'm sure every woman that's listening can absolutely relate and attest to that.
For sure.
So while we're on the topic of carrying and how to carry,
Mhm.
it sounds like I know the answer just based on what we're talking about on how quickly you can access it. But what is your take on firearms having a safety or not having your safety on and having one in the chamber?
Okay. So when I first started to carry, I was still very nervous. I
Hmm.
carried a completely empty gun for
Okay.
probably a couple of months until I just got used to it being there. And I would go out with it, try it in different scenarios, different outfits. I would see
Okay.
if you could see it, if it would print under a shirt or if I needed a sweater. What made me feel confident in carrying the gun first. And if I had
Hmm.
been in a situation at that time, I guess I could have thrown it at someone because it wouldn't have actually worked. I didn't have any bullets on me at all. But I needed to know
Yeah.
that I could handle it,
Yeah.
right? Because it was honestly, it
Hmm.
freaked me out. This was way before I was an instructor when I was very new. So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
hesitantly wear it with different shirts. And I think, are people looking? Do they see it? Do they know? And let's be real, nobody's paying attention. Everybody is very inward focused.
No.
They're always worried at how they look, how they appear. They're not worried about anybody else. So that's a benefit when it comes to carrying because nobody's really paying
Yes.
attention to you. And you can walk around and nobody really notices. And I have all kinds of lumps and
True.
curves
Good
and
thing to
whatever.
point out.
It just blends.
Good thing to point out, but I'm also kind of relieved to hear you say that it made you a little bit nervous for a
It did.
while
Oh, for
because
sure.
I think I'm still in that space and I've
Yeah.
been very used to guns and shotguns my
And
whole life.
yeah,
But
and
it's a
that's
whole
okay.
nother situation when you start carrying a loaded gun on your person.
Well,
So
there's a
I'm
lot of
happy to hear
responsibility.
you say that you also went through that
For sure.
same phase.
For sure. It's a lot of responsibility to think that you could
Yes.
potentially save a life or take one. So you really have
Mm-hmm.
to be able
Yeah.
to live with either of those decisions and know that
Right.
if it were to come that you have to deal with a threat, you're going to be arrested because they have to
Yeah.
investigate. I've never even gotten a
Right.
traffic ticket. So that terrified me to think, oh my goodness, all these things could happen all because I want to protect myself
Mm-hmm.
and my family. Is it worth it? It
Right.
absolutely is. I will absolutely go away in
Yes.
handcuffs while you investigate to know that I protected my family. So,
Right.
originally,
As long as my family member is still breathing and
correct.
with me, then it
I
is what
made
it
the right
is.
choice, 100%.
Yep.
So I chose to carry with nothing in it for a while. And then I thought, oh, that's not
Okay.
bad. Nobody's noticed. I wasn't getting the reactions I thought I was going to get. I'm like, nobody's paying attention to me at all. So then I would put the magazine full, but I would have nothing in the chamber. I would never rack the slide. And I thought, well, I can always rack
Okay.
the slide if I need to. And I would carry that. I'm like, okay, I made it that far. That was my next step. So I did that for a while.
Okay.
And then about 6 to 8 weeks later, I was like, if something were to happen, and I was thinking about what the noise is when I rack the slide, is that going to draw
Mhm.
attention to me and cause a bigger problem? Yes, it is. So I chose the firearm I felt most comfortable with. I have a 6 hour, which I love, and it's a 380
Okay.
P365 6 hour. It's my
Mhm.
favorite. I named my firearms. Her name is Foxy Roxy.
I
She's
love it.
beautiful. She is purple iridescent. She's very sweet and pretty. And
Yeah.
Sasha was my first, my Glock. And then I got Foxy Roxy. My husband got her. I went and picked her out, and he bought it for my Valentine's Day gift one year. So
Awesome.
romantic. So romantic. But anyway, I think I got
Ah.
some Ferrero Rocher chocolates in there too. So it's all fine. But in our marriage, to get a new firearm, it is romantic. Like that's something that we do, and that's
Yeah.
great. So it works for
Right.
us.
Yes.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
I decided that it was quiet to flip the safety on and off so I could rack the slide. The safety is a switch. So I can very clearly
Yep.
see the safety is on and I feel good and it does not make noise when I turn it off. So as I flip the
Okay.
switch, I'm like, okay, I can carry this with confidence knowing it is safe, but I am ready to defend
Mhm.
myself if necessary. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm at right now. The safety is on, but
Okay.
there is
Yep.
something in and it's ready to go. And I always ask the
Okay.
question, when is a firearm ready to be used? And the answers are all different. It's like, oh, when you leave the house or whatever. I'm like, well, it's when you have one in the chamber and you're ready to shoot it. So if you just have it, you're not ready until you have it
Yeah.
fully engaged. So I worked very hard to
Armed,
develop
yeah.
myself and work on my mindset. And I
Mhm.
had to mature in my mindset in the knowledge that I'm going to be okay and that I trust myself to do this the right way. And then once I got there, like now
Yeah.
I'm good. And my husband and I talk
Okay.
about this too. He feels naked without it. It's like when you leave the house without your earrings on, you're like, oh, all day long, no earrings. It's kind of
Yep.
the same thing. I am a teacher, so I
Yeah.
can't carry for work. So I only carry
Right.
when I go to buy groceries or something like that. But still, there are times that my children will ask, do you have your friend with you today? And they're like, I don't know how I feel
Yep.
about being here. Where's their friend? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we have our friends. We're friends with us.
Mom's got you,
So,
baby.
yeah, we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
it's pretty fun. And now my
Love.
daughter's 21 and she's taking my class too. So it's
Yes, good for
exciting.
her.
The
Good.
next generation of
Yeah.
empowered women. It's
Oh,
exciting.
I love it. It is exciting. I'm happy to hear that it sounds like do you feel like more and more women are starting to
I
go to the
do.
range and get their CPL?
I
Good.
do. And
Okay.
I have found that interesting too. When I started about 5 years ago, I go to the range, be the only female there. And occasionally one would come in with her husband or
Mhm.
boyfriend or something like that. And it's night and day. 5 years later, there are times I go in and it's all women there. And they're not with their boyfriends or husbands.
Oh,
They're just
I
shooting.
love that.
And
Good.
again, community, women just see women and we're automatically friends. You just
Mhm.
walk up and you just automatically, I got you, girl. Doesn't even
Yeah.
matter if I
You're
know
like,
you.
"Hey, girl." Yeah.
And it's really fun. The other day I was in the range and there were two women next to me and they had rented a firearm and they were doing what I had suggested to do. I say always rent a firearm before you purchase. I'm not going to go and buy a pair of heels that I have not tried on and walked in because it's going to be uncomfortable. So I'm not going to go to the store and say, hey, look, it's a purple gun. That one's for me. No, I need to go shoot it. I need to see how many bullets will it hold? What's the magazine capacity? What are the sights? What are the grips? What are all the things that create this firearm that's going to protect me? So they were doing that. They had sat down, they were renting. That's the great thing about Action Impact is you can go in and buy a box of 380 bullets and they will let you rent all the 380s and you can just practice and see what works for you and then go buy you a thing of 9 mil and do the same thing and find one that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So they were doing that and they were struggling to load the magazine. So I am real big on we are not breaking a nail. That is not happening on my watch. If we pay to get our nails done,
Yeah.
absolutely not are we going to destroy that manicure. So I have a cheater.
Right.
I have my loader that helps me
Yeah.
load it. They were over there
Yep.
about to break a nail.
Sure.
Sister ain't going to have it. Absolutely
You're
not.
like, "Ladies." Yeah.
Yes. Let me introduce you to the
Yeah.
cheater. And
Yeah.
let me show you how to
Right.
use it. So it was so much fun because I got to know these two women that have the same new hobby that I have. And we walked through it. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm an instructor. Let me help you. And they're like, yes,
Yes.
please. Because they wanted to protect themselves. Didn't really know what they were doing, but they knew they were wanting to do it. So we had a great time.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I'm Southern in my heart, and I just I talk to strangers all the time.
Hey,
So
I
it's
love
fun.
it. And you helped them.
Yes,
You
and
helped
that's the
them.
whole point is, and now it's
Yeah.
interesting too, the men at the range that see me there often enough, they will come and say something or they'll greet me and speak. The men who work there, sometimes they will take the women and say, "Hey, go see Emily over there. She's an instructor. She'll help you." Even though I
Yeah.
don't work for their range, they know that I will step
Yeah.
in,
You
especially if
will.
the
Yeah.
women seem intimidated by the men who work there. They'll be like, "Hey, do you
Mhm.
mind going over there and helping them?" And of course not. I want to empower women.
Right.
That's my goal. So
Yes.
I just
Yes.
get so much joy. Like, let me help you.
For sure. So I want to ask you, I don't know, I don't remember if you addressed it in our class, so to speak, or if that's something that's in your class, but there's definitely sometimes a fear or a stigma attached to owning and carrying firearms. So I would love for everybody to hear what you have to say on that.
Well, sometimes it is a political issue where people have
Right.
strong beliefs one way or the other over firearms. To me, it doesn't have to be. To me, it is how are you going to
Agreed.
protect your family? It just really comes down to
Yep.
don't live in fear. You don't have to live in fear. You
Mhm.
can protect yourself. You are
Right.
capable of protecting yourself. And let me help train you to make sure that you're
Yes.
confident in doing so. And if it's not me, find someone
Right.
else that will, that you're comfortable with, because I don't necessarily want you to come to me, but I want you to be able to do it and know that you're confident and you're safe in doing so and be a responsible firearm owner. That's to me what matters
Yeah.
more. I would hate to
Right.
hear that you were robbed or carjacked or something happened and you weren't prepared because of fear. So it's
Right.
easier to find someone you're comfortable with, go and take that first shot and think, okay, I can do it. Take a deep breath and do it
Mhm.
again until you learn that you're capable because you're way more
Right.
capable than you give yourself credit for. We all are.
Absolutely. We all are. Yes.
Mhm.
Amen. Yep. Yep. And you're right, that initial fear of the unknown, if it's
Mhm.
not something that you've done before, just familiarize yourself with it and then make a decision.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you don't
I think
start
that's great.
running a marathon the first day. So you have to train a little bit at a time. And the same thing with firearms. Go into the
Yep.
range, practice a little bit, go in, set yourself a date every couple of weeks for half an hour and shoot. Rent one if you don't have one. Call me and do a class and I'll bring mine in and we can walk through it together. And we'll find something
Yeah.
that you're comfortable with and build that confidence to where we'll get you to that marathon pace where you can confidently carry. And I kind of honestly forget about it. It becomes part of my outfit where I just put on my
Yep.
earrings, I put on my socks, put
Your
on my
wedding
belly
ring's on
bands.
and you're
It's
strapped.
yeah, it's part of the
Yep.
deal. And I don't even think
It's
about it,
awesome.
but I know if it comes down to it, I know what's there.
Yep.
I'm not going to throw an earring at
Yes.
somebody, you know?
Nope. Nope. And you don't have to be afraid to, run into Target when the parking lot's a little bit dark. You
Right.
are empowered and have the tool in your toolbox
Yep.
that you need should that
Right.
terrible time come.
But it always comes down, as we said earlier, is just being aware. Keep your head on a swivel, whether you are packing
Yes.
that day or not. Keep your head on a
Yep.
swivel. Always be aware of your surroundings. Constantly challenge your mind to engage every person you come across. We are so, as we said, we're self involved and inward focused. We're thinking about, oh, I need to buy this.
Yep.
I'm out of raisins, whatever.
Right.
And we walk
Yep.
in and we're on our phones. Put the phone
Yes.
away. Keep
Put
your
it
head on a
away. Yep.
swivel, always look and engage, engage, engage. Don't
And if your children are with you too, they're gonna learn to do the same thing,
absolutely,
right? They're not gonna be on their phone walking through a parking lot. They're gonna be
absolutely.
looking around and knowing their surroundings. And I love the game you said you play with your husband, because I think that I'll also do that sitting at a restaurant around the dinner table with my children, because
Absolutely.
that's another great way to get them to start having that situational awareness and where are the exits and who's
Mhm.
between you and I and
You know, it
what
doesn't hurt
is
in case there's a fire.
right.
for them to know where the exit
Anything,
are. Any of that. We
right?
used to do it with our kids
Anything.
with motorcycles. We would have them play a game every time they saw a motorcycle when they were like 8. So then when they became drivers, we had done it for
Mhm.
so many years that they were more aware of motorcycles when they drive.
Of them
So
on the
now that they're
road.
both
Yeah.
licensed drivers, they're like motorcycles are everywhere because we've made that an awareness. So as long as you start when they're little, just being aware of
Yep.
themselves. But if it makes you nervous
Yes.
when you're out with your kids, teach your children, find a woman with kids. So if something happens, they can run to another woman with kids. Because I guarantee
Another
you,
mom.
any mama
Yep.
with kids, if kids run up to her, she's going to mama bear those babies too and get them to safety.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
if you teach your children basically be aware, find another mom, go chicken, little turkey, whatever, noodle, whatever it takes,
Yes.
do all of the things.
Yes.
It's okay to be a
Yep.
loon to save your life.
Yep.
And
Absolutely it is.
if you're still
It's okay
nervous
to be
and
a
there's
loon just if it's fun.
it's just a good time on a Friday, let's be
Eh,
real.
yeah,
I might just
we'll
do it
just
because I
try it out.
can.
Emily, it has been such a pleasure. I feel like we could do this
We
for
could.
hours.
We could.
And I love and value everything that you stand for and that you're doing for women and empowering them.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you taking time with us today.
Sure.
But tell us, if someone is interested in training with you at Superior Shooting, how do they get started? How do they get in contact with you?
All right. You just go to superiorshooting.net. Our emails are there. There's a phone number there. You can just contact us. Sign up for classes is there. And we're about to revamp the whole thing. So it should be looking really good in about 2 or 3 months. We're going to get it all new this year. But all of our contact info is there. So if you want to do a private class, you want to have a group, a girls' night out, whatever, I'm up for all of it. And we can schedule
What
it
an
all
awesome
around you.
suggestion for a girls' night out.
Oh,
Anybody listening, if you are unsure about going and you want to go, message me. I'll go with you. I'll go with a group. So,
nothing like some guns
ladies,
and a
reach out.
charcuterie board to like set off a night.
Right. That'll step up your night.
Right.
It sounds great. And I will put superiorshooting.net's link in the show notes for everybody and anybody so they can easily get in contact with you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot,
Well,
Jennifer.
thank you. Today's conversation is a powerful reminder that knowledge, training, and readiness can be life changing. It's not about living in fear, it's about living with confidence, knowing that you have the tools and skills to protect yourself and your loved ones. A huge thank you to Emily and Superior Shooting for leading the way and empowering women through education, safety, and strength. If you're feeling inspired to take the next step towards your own empowerment, I encourage you to reach out and learn more. Until next time, stay strong, stay safe, and stay empowered.